Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Charity Water and how we incorporate our brand into our events and how we share our brand with the masses. So first, I'm going to start with a little bit about Charity Water, just to give you a sense of who we are and what we do. We are a New York City-based nonprofit that brings clean and safe drinking water to developing countries. We're a little bit non-traditional. Our founder, Scott, he was a club promoter in New York for 10 years. So he spent his 20s in clubs, making money off getting people in the door, and he realized in his late 20s that he wanted to see what else was out there, try something new, volunteer his time, and see what impact he could make. So he went to Liberia, and he realized that amongst many other problems in the developing country, that water really does change everything. If you haven't had a chance to hear his talk, I could not do it justice, so I recommend that you check out our website and hear a little bit more about that. But the problem that we're solving is that 800 million people live without clean and safe drinking water. And this is a massive number, and we really only use this number to state the problem. And as you'll see throughout our work, this is something that we don't really reference too much. Our mission is to end the water crisis. We believe that in our lifetime, we will solve the water crisis. And it won't be the 67 people that sit in Soho right now that are solving this water crisis. It is our whole network and our community that helps make this happen. But at our core, our vision really is to reinvent charity. So Scott came back from Liberia, this grand idea for what Charity Water would be, and all of his friends didn't really have faith that if they gave him money, where it would go, because they were just disenchanted with philanthropy. They knew that they sent money off to Africa, didn't know if it went to the offices, went to wherever it may be. They didn't know that it actually made an impact. So that's something that we've been working at Charity Water for 8 years to really solve for and build people's faith in giving. So in 8 years, we've raised over $150 million, and that's through over 500,000 supporters. So these are people who make direct donations, who give up their birthdays, which I'll explain in a little bit, who share their stories and how they're involved with Charity Water throughout the world. And we've seen some really amazing things come through that. And that's really, we lend our brand to them to share the story and help get towards that 800 million people who are living without clean water. So in 8 years, we have built over 13,000 water projects in 22 countries. We work with local partners in the field. And the most important number, the number that we get excited about, that we focus on at work, is 4.4 million people have been served. So we have changed the lives of 4.4 million people through our work and through the 500,000 supporters who have helped make that happen. So there are a few things that set us apart at Charity Water from a lot of other nonprofits. The first is a 100% model. So this is something that from day one has been core to who we are. We built 2 bank accounts. So we opened them day one, and we have not had them touch each other since. One is for public donations. So 100% of public donations go directly to the field. And on top of that, we pay back credit card fees. So we are making sure that all the money that you give us goes directly to the field. And the way we pay for our office and our operations is through a small group of people called The Well. It's about 100 people made up of leaders in tech, entertainment, and business who invest in our health insurance, our office, our flights to the field. And these are the people that we report back to at the end of an event and say, this is where we spent your money. This is the awesome in-kind donation that we got, and this is how we help further our work. The second is proof. So again, going back to Scott's early conversations with his friends, they said, dude, I have no idea where the money goes. I don't know what happens, where it goes, what's going on. And we promised from day one to prove where your money went. So the first GPS we bought was from Best Buy down in Soho, and we stuck it on a well. And luckily, we started the same time that Google Maps started. And we have put every single water project on a GPS. You could fly to Ethiopia and see this well in this school if you wanted to. And it's really important to us to prove where every single dollar went. And the third is brand. So early on, we realized that there's no Nike or Apple of nonprofits. Nick Kristof said it really well, that toothpaste is peddled with more sophistication than all the life-saving causes. And that's sad. There shouldn't be this kind of double standard for nonprofits because you do serious work that you should have a serious and boring website. So we have really promised from day one that we would constantly innovate, and we really consider ourselves storytellers at Charity Water. We're connecting the people who are in these communities to the masses and really connecting that. So Charity Water began, and from the beginning, our third hire was our now VP of Creative, Vic, and we dedicated our work to really make sure that we had fun with it. We told our story in fun ways. We didn't take ourselves too seriously. So we use this as one of the first ads. Something important to note at Charity Water, we have a $0 marketing budget. So we don't pay for anything. This has been on buses and on tops of those green cabs. I sometimes still see them around. And that has been donated space. So, we've had a lot of fun and we've come a long way. And then sometimes we do take ourselves seriously and share the sad facts about the water crisis. We have seen from the beginning how do we challenge ourselves to connect people to the work. You wouldn't let your mom drink that water. You wouldn't let your kids go to private school carrying a 40-pound jerry can the same way that these kids are going to school. You wouldn't have your banker friends. You wouldn't expect them to go to Central Park in the middle of the day and pick up dirty water. Nobody has time for that, and it's just wrong. So why would you allow that to happen in developing countries? We have a jerry can. So this jerry can is what many women and children use in developing countries to carry water. When it's full, it's about 40 pounds. And this is something that, as you can see, we've shared all over the world. We send these out. This is a compilation from World Water Day where we said, hey, how cool would it be to get this with the Eiffel Tower, bring this into Times Square, to have Tony Hawk skate over it? What does that look like? And that's an easy way for us, for people to have fun with the brand. I've lit up that jerry can all throughout New York City. Some people get a little nervous. It is just filled with a light or water, but it's a really exciting way for us to connect with the communities that we work with. We've had a lot of fun with the brand. What we've really focused on at Charity Water is making it so that anybody can work with us. So water is one of those problems that nobody really can argue that somebody should have dirty water. So it is really something that we are able to translate. We went to Saks and said, hey, let's work together. And luckily they didn't kick us out, but they gave us their windows here in Chicago and in California. And we were able to translate that to gallery photos and jerry cans. And Chelsea Market, we said, okay, we know Chelsea Market is beautiful, it's well trafficked. How do we take our work and then translate it there? How do we make it so that it's not obtrusive? People don't walk away feeling sad and like the water crisis isn't something that they can help solve, but really inspired and seeing these photos and seeing the jerry cans and pumping a well. I was in Ethiopia in February and pumped a well very similar to that. So we try and bring what's happening in the developing countries to your daily life. So if you're in Chelsea Market at this time, you were able to see and learn a little bit more about how we work. And then for events, we have always been really focused on photography, beautiful pictures of these amazing kids and really bringing that to our events. We want people to leave feeling like they learned something and they're inspired. We don't put pictures up and say, this is Africa. We really try and inform people about who these people are and what they're doing and how they're making an impact through their donations. And we've had fun with it. This well has been a lot of places. The jerry cans have been used as our step and repeat at events in fun different ways. The well, we have a pumping well at almost every event now. At our galas, we make sure that people have a chance to see this and to play with it. And then this is one of my favorites. So this is Yellow Thunder. Or a depiction of yellow thunder. So a couple of years ago at Charity Water, we crowdsourced funded a drilling rig in Ethiopia. And we had supporters give to fundraise for $1 million drilling rig. And so we thought at our gala a couple of years ago, wouldn't it be cool to have this in the space? People have sent their money. We know it's really cool. This rig has a GPS on it and it also tweets. It has more followers than I do on Twitter, which is a little bit embarrassing, but it's doing a lot of great work. And we wanted to make sure that people were able to see that in the space. This was at the Armory a couple of years ago. We called the company who gave us the drilling rig and said, wouldn't it be cool to fly this from Italy to New York for one night? And somehow they believed us and they thought it would be cool too, and they brought everyone and set this up. So we've really tried to make things larger than life and exciting and fun and incorporating our work wherever we can. And the Water Walk. So the Water Walk has been a product for us that has really developed over time. Women and children in developing countries walk up to 4 to 8 hours a day, and it's a lot of grueling work. It's instead of going to school, it's instead of taking care of your children, it's instead of working. So from early on, we decided that why not make this a catwalk? Why not take all of our friends and guests who are dressed up and ready for a night out, give them 40-pound jerry cans and have them feel what it's like to walk for water. So this is a very early on one. We have, people have done this all over the US. So we've started our events and, even had sponsors. So a couple of years ago, we had Starwood Hotels and Tom's pay on behalf of people to walk. So activating donors to say, we not only want people to attend the gala, but we want them to participate in something and feel what it's like to walk for water. And it was a really amazing way to get our sponsors involved. And we've seen this translated everywhere. This is at a conference in Boston. We have numerous companies that say, we want to get our employees involved. We want to get the company involved. We want to show them what we're doing and in a really tangible way. And this has been proven to be a really tangible way for people to get involved and feel that weight of walking for water. We've done it all over. Again, we've taken this to Times Square, the Brooklyn Bridge, and people have taken it from TED conferences and walking for water, or picking it up at our office and walking to events. We've just seen that this is a way to share our brand in a really easy way. And then one really important thing of how we share our brand is that it's important to note we started with a birthday party, which when Scott turned 31, he did what he knew best. He threw a party at 10 June and charged $20 for an open bar. And it was a pretty fun party from what I'm told. He then took that money and went straight to Uganda and built a water project and reported back to all of his friends and said, this is what your $20 did. On his 32nd birthday, he thought about doing this again and then said, instead of that, I'm going to give up my birthday. So instead of giving me money at an event or paying for an open bar, give me $32. Donate $32 to the water crisis and help us solve this. So that kicked off something that we like to call birthdays at Charity Water. And this is where the first birthday party went. And then Scott did this, and then this little kid, Max, said, hey, I'm going to give it my 7th birthday. He was in Texas. He knocked door to door, asked for money very generously. His neighbors obliged, and he raised $22,000. And he didn't have this blowout party, this gala in New York, this fancy, big Yellow Thunder rig at his home. He just talked to people about why he was passionate about the water crisis. And we've seen this all over kind of our scope of our community. Tony Hawk gave up his birthday and raised $20,000. Will and Jada Smith, and a lot of other celebrities have come and really focused on our cause. But we've seen the most success with people like Maggie, who gave up her Sweet 16. She raised $5,000, and she now has a plaque at a well that says that she helped do this at her birthday instead of all of the gifts that she could have asked for. We've had people climb Mount Kilimanjaro, jump out of planes, give up their wedding gifts and honeymoons, and bike across the US. A couple of years ago, these guys just showed up at our door, and they were a little smelly, and we're like, hey, what's up? And they're like, we just biked across the US for you, and we fundraised. And it's just amazing to see kind of what people will do and how they take focusing on philanthropy. This is one of my personal favorites. This is Riley. She ate rice and beans for an entire month. She raised $15,000. And this is one of my favorite examples because she was able to understand what we do very quickly and internalize it and see how she could make an impact. And she sent us this picture, and we asked her what that piece of paper was, and that's 4,500 marks to understand all the people who die each day from waterborne illness. So it's just it's really powerful to see how people understand the water crisis and how they're able to give in their own ways. And what you can do. So I've shown you a few examples of how people have really internalized and helped us fundraise and share our brand on our behalf. I think first and foremost, to be transparent about your work. Transparency is a value at Charity Water. We talk about it all of the time. We're honest and open when something isn't working. We embrace risk and failure, and we move forward from it. Innovation is really key to us. So being transparent with who we are and what we do humanizes us, and it allows people to understand that we're working towards a very big problem and we want their help and that they are a part of this. The second is to know how to communicate your vision. So everyone knows about the elevator pitch. I argue that it should be a quick one flight of stairs. You should be able to talk about what you're doing and really talk about who you are and what you do. And if you can't do that in a few sentences, to rethink how you're sharing your message, because those people, if you want to be successful, those people have to go on and then tell their friends about it. Creating a culture of sharing. So it's no surprise, we are very big in social media. We were the first nonprofit to have 1 million followers on Twitter. We are big in Instagram. We were one of the first brands on it and have really embraced it as an easy way to share who we are and what we do, whether it's in the office or in the field or with events. And we really love hearing about other people's work, that people like Riley or people like Tony Hawk who are fundraising on our behalf. Every week at work, we talk about the people who are fundraising for us. We do it on Mondays. We talk about the people who have done amazing things that are not highly publicized, and it's just amazing. And with that, we share our ideas to help further our cause with other people. And then finally, just letting people know you need their help. This is important, and it's humbling to say, we can't solve the water crisis on our own. There are 67us. There are a lot of people in the water industry helping to solve this problem. We need everyone's help, whether you give up your birthday or you run across America or you sail and fundraise for charity water. It's critical that we know we can't do this on our own, so we help further our work with our community. So however we can do that and realize this vision of ending the water crisis in our lifetime, we are game, and we're open to it, and we're excited about it. So that's it.